Good evening, fellow resellers and wannabe resellers and voyeurs and other visitors. Tonight's the night that we're going to take a look at some of our sales this week on eBay, and we're going to look at a few on Amazon FBA. Also want to look at a potential BOLO for you guys. I'm going to start out with the BOLO as a matter of fact, which is be on lookout. Just position my little head here. Okay, so if you watched my last pickup video, I found this dot matrix printer, and I actually passed by it twice, and then I went back out to the car. I was about to leave, and it was kind of nagging me, so I looked up the model number, which I did get on one of my passes by it, and I saw that the printer was selling anywhere between $100 to $160. So I picked it up for $5, and I tested it today, and I listed it today, and it tested out fine. And you can see I actually inserted a little test video where I just run it through the self-test. I don't know if you guys can hear that or not, but I mean, these suckers are loud if y'all don't remember these dot matrix printers. But yeah, it works fine. So given the fact that it's a clean printer, and I've got all the manuals and everything, and I've got a video that actually shows it working, I priced it up a little higher, and I do have make offer on it. I actually do expect to get probably somewhere around $120 to $140 range when it's all said and done, which will be a nice profit. And I picked it up for $5, and that's not really the point here, because I did spend at least, we'll probably say I'm going to spend, I probably spent at least a half hour testing it and shooting the video. You could even probably call it an hour maybe, because I didn't rush through it. And I shot a video, and and then I listed it and all that stuff. And then on the back end, when it sells, I'll have to probably spend about 20 to 30 minutes packing the thing. So yeah, I have $5 in it, but really the hour and a half of time is going to be a lot more valuable than $5 here. But whenever it sells, it's still going to be well worth it. So what that made me kind of think of, though, is in general, yeah, that specific printer was valuable, but what about dot matrix printers in general? Because the chances of you finding that exact model aren't real high. So what I did was, when I searched dot matrix printer, and then I scrolled down to sold listings, and then we're going to do price highest first. And you can kind of get an idea of what the market is. And this is not really germane, because it's 100 of these receipt printers. So a lot of these listings will be for receipt printers, but there's also a lot of just regular dot matrix printers too, used ones. Like this one went for 1,400, 1,200, 1164, and this is one of the brands you want to look out for, the Okidata Microline. I remember hearing about that printer a lot back in the 80s and early 90s. You're going to see a lot of Okidatas and a ton of Epson. There's Oki Microline, $810. And that looks like it's probably a pretty big printer. Here's a brand new IBM something or another work group dot matrix printer, which is probably going to be pretty big format for 800. You can see there's quite a few. This is a 90-day look back. So this is a pretty big market, because I mean, we're going all the way down and we're still well over 300. That's a new Epson FX 880 Plus. There's an Oki Microline 390. So, I mean, it's Oki data and Epson. There's a Lexmark. I wouldn't expect to see that many of those out in the wild. Um, Now, where I would expect, the reason I think this is a good BOLO is because if you ever go to like state surplus auctions, or maybe a business is going out of business, you may come upon like 5 to 10 printers. If you go to a surplus auction, they might be getting rid of a pallet of printers at a time. So this is something that is a potentially a huge money maker for you if the situation is right. And the thing I really like about these printers, there's really not going to be much competition in most cases. Like the garage sale I was at was quite busy, and just while I was there were 20 people walked right by that printer, and nobody even gave it a second look. So take a look at the dot matrix printers like I'm doing here, and I mean I'm still way down. And there's a good market. People are buying them, and the reason they're buying them is because they can print through on like the triplicate forms, through the carbon copies and stuff. So if you see a dot matrix, just whip out your eBay app, search it. You might want to grab it first, search it, and see what the model number's bringing. And then keep in mind you want to get the right price, because you don't know if it works really until you get it home. In my case, my ribbon was not that old. It was from 2013. But you may have a ribbon in the one that you're picking up that's 10, 20 years old. Um, and you might have to actually buy a ribbon or two on eBay and then test it out. So it might require some time and effort on your part, but it might be worth it. So just something to think about, guys. So let's go to some eBay sales then. And make myself a little smaller. That ought to do it. Okay. This is a Pathfinder role-playing game. It's got the core rule book, another book, and this fold-out thing. It says $37.99. They offered $25, and I ended up countering with $30, and they took it. So, and just a reminder, all the prices I discuss here are shipping not included. I pay shipping on top. So I've done quite well on role-playing game books. You really can't go wrong if you get them for, like around $1 or $2. I think I paid $2 for this one because it's a really nice thick book, in really good condition. Pathfinder's a little different brand. It looks like D&D, but it's not. Okay, come on, thing. There we go. This is that Nintendo DS that I just bought this past weekend. Sold it for $30.39. I threw in Club Penguin, which is a pretty much valueless game, but the DS tested well and is in really nice condition. And you see, I always use a lot of pictures. I usually max out pictures on stuff like this. Get it from every angle. Okay, this is a Snow Leopard 10.6, which is the operating system for Macintosh. And I think if they buy this disc, they can actually upgrade all the way up to the current version of the operating system, which I don't even know what it is. I don't know, Yosemite or something. I don't even know what it's at right now, and I'm using it. But Macintosh OSs aren't real expensive. They don't go for a lot of money, so don't spend much money. This is like 25 cents, because Macintosh doesn't really make a lot of money on the operating systems. All the computers come with it, and I think when they sell the upgrades, it might be 20, 30 bucks. So the secondary market isn't going to be real strong, but it's a little something. It's 11 bucks. These are 4 of those magazines that I bought a few weeks ago. I've listed, I think I've got about 30 of them listed, and I've got a ton more I need to list. I'm way behind. If I'm honest, I really don't like dealing with this stuff. I don't like listing magazines that much, so I'm going to have to really force myself to get on it. Um, I ended up taking a best offer of $20 for these four. So, I mean, the profits are going to be really good. These are four of the older ones. Okay, this is a tape recorder I just bought this past weekend. It was never used. Uh, it is sealed inside. The box has been opened and there is box wear, which is a little unfortunate. It's obvious the box has been opened and you see there's a substantial amount of wear. Um, the going price for this was about 60, 65 on eBay. Amazon brand new. These go for about 150. Um, I didn't feel comfortable selling this as brand new on Amazon, and the used price was going to be probably somewhere around what I got on eBay after the big Amazon fees were applied. So I sold it on eBay, and I sold it pretty quickly for $60. So that was a good sale. I paid $2 for this one. Mario Party 8, I paid $2 for this one, and I sold it for 21. Guitar Hero, I don't remember what I paid. It was 50 cents, a dollar, somewhere around there, and I sold it for 10. Okay, this iPod Nano, I paid $3 for this past weekend, and I sold it for $35. You could see I loaded up I connected it to my computer. I loaded up a podcast on it. I listened to it on headphones, made sure it charged well. I disclosed the fact that it had a few nicks on the top and bottom, and I showed some good detailed photos. See, there's a little scuff there, nothing major. And there's the top, another little scuff. But the screen was clean and everything. So $35 was a real good profit for a $3 investment on that. Apple's kind of a can't miss prospect if it's working. This is the Logitech Harmony that I bought for dollar. I think it was $1, or it might have been less. It might have been 50 cents, or I can't remember. Um, but yeah, sold for $11. It's probably the bottom of their line. Like I've sold some of their other remotes. I think the most I've ever sold one of their remotes for was around 100. But it has like a LCD screen and all that. It's a lot fancier, charger base. This is the last Second City TV that I had. I had 3 of them, and I sold the 3 for a total of about $70. And I bought a box of DVDs for 5, and they were all part of that. So that was extraordinary profits there. And Swamp Picker, if you're watching, he actually hit this garage sale before I did. He picked him up, looked at him, and put him back down, and left him for me. So that was very generous, Swamp Picker. I appreciate it. Okay, these are some ACUs, which is the modern day version of the BDU. These are army pants, basically. Real good condition and a real good size, extra large, short. Um, the bigger the better on these things. I paid $1 for these and I sold them for 20. And then you can see the 610. That is the I used a padded flat rate envelope for these. For all of these, I think they cost $5.90. I don't know why it's 20 more cents. I didn't charge 20 cents handling. I'm not sure. Okay, these are some comic books, and I'm almost sold through. I bought a big long box of these, 350 of them, and I was trying to think of what I paid. It was either $40 to $50 somewhere in there. So I paid about 10 to 15 cents a piece, and I've been steadily getting 90 cents to $1 a piece for them in these lots. And I don't look them up or anything. I'm not a comic guy. I've just been flipping them, and the profit has been really good. Here's another pair of those ACU pants, and these are actually new with tag. And both of these guys left feedback. They were both happy. These were $1 also. They sold for 25. If you're looking at military clothing, the pants always sell. There goes the camera. Let me load it back up. La 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 la. This happens every time, and it happens after a while. I don't know if it's the camera or the operating system. Okay, okay, I need to do float on top. There we go. All right. One thing I love about the Mac, it's got this QuickTime screen recorder built in. I don't have to install any other software. It's just ready to go, and it's pretty handy. So, yeah, I was talking about the military clothing. The pants are way, way, way easier to sell than the shirts. So if you see a lot of pants and a lot of shirts, if you want to just buy the pants, I think you would do totally fine with that. They're not looking to make a uniform. They're just looking for pants to wear with a t-shirt. So something to keep in mind. Paid a buck or two for this camera, and I actually took a best offer on this of $15. So $16.99 price is not correct. And it was a pretty clean little camera. Not one of the more desirable Polaroids, but it's in nice condition. An easy sale. Okay, this is the Coleman lantern that I paid $10 for. And it was in really, really nice condition. You can see the paint is just perfect. This is from the 70s. The mantles look perfect. I said in the listing, just to set expectations, it wouldn't be setting anybody up for disappointment, him or me. Lamp does not appear to be used. It may have been used once, but I can't tell. There's some light oxidation on the handle, blah, blah, blah. So I kind of set it up to where I truly didn't think it had been used, but I couldn't say for certain. You know, I didn't see any like bad burn marks or anything on the underside of the top. So, but I'm not a lantern expert either. So he has it now. I haven't heard from him, so that's good. Speaking of that, if you've been watching the Rosetta Stone that I sold, that I'm telling you not to buy, not to sell, because it could be trouble. It's made it to its destination, and I haven't heard anything. So for now, no news is good news. I've got, just because I haven't heard back or gotten feedback doesn't mean it's bad, because I probably get less than, I would say, 30% feedback left on across all my items. So, or maybe about 35% is what I get. So I'm not surprised to not get positive feedback, but I'm just glad I haven't heard anything. No news is good news there. Okay, this is an Amazon item, and this is mine still that's listed. I think I'm probably the only one that is currently selling these. I picked these up in a liquidation along with a bunch of other figurines. I basically spent a year selling almost nothing but figurines. But I sent one in as a test because I wasn't sure how they would do. It didn't have a real good rank, but there also weren't very many available at a decent price. So it sold within a week of sending it up. And so I sent 20 more in behind it. And I still have, I don't know, I think I have 5 more in my storage unit that I'm kind of holding back for something. I don't know what. But yeah, I sent 20 more in, and I'm keeping them priced at the 30. Amazon's going to take their $6 or $7 out of that, of course. But pretty excited about that. I'm hoping to sell a bunch of those around Christmas time as Christmas gifts. So that was an excellent sale. I probably got about 25 cents into each one if I broke it down like that. Okay, this is a Super Mario puzzle that I bought for, I think, $2. It was on eBay forever. And that's another thing. It's like this figurine right here. I sold a couple at like $12, $13 on eBay, and then there near the end, I had so much inventory of this, I was just trying to kind of blow them out at like $7, $6, and nobody was buying it. So I just took them all down. I sent one to Amazon, and the markets are totally different. It's like it's like a totally different customer base, and I think that's one of the things that was really hard for me about getting started on Amazon. Is whenever I shop for something, I really look around for the best price. Like if I need a tape dispenser, I'm going to look at Walmart, I'm going to look at Amazon, I'm going to look at eBay, and I'm going to go with the best price. But I'm had the fallacy of projecting the way I shop on everybody else in the world, and that's just not the case. I mean, probably most people don't trust eBay or don't want to fool with it. They'd rather just, maybe, or most people that are buying this kind of thing, maybe they have a lot more money than me, and they're not price sensitive. They just want it fast and they want it easy, and they're used to using the Prime. So, I think sometimes we need to not necessarily think that our customers think like us. We don't want to project our values and the way we shop onto our customers, because a lot of times I think it's just wrong. They're totally different from us in that regard. So yeah, this puzzle I bought for $2. I think I've had it so long; it was on eBay forever. It didn't sell. I couldn't even get, I think, $12 or something like that for it. Threw it up on Amazon FBA, sold for 20. I'm probably going to get about 15 out of this, something like that. So, okay, this is this Tapple. This is not mine. Mine sold for $15.79. I paid $1 or $2 for it. It was new. I don't think I bought it very long ago. But I think these sealed board games are really the way to go on Amazon. They seem to do really well. I bet they'll do really well in the fourth quarter too. Okay, this is my really good book find. This is from the guy that was the riverboat pilot that I sold If you watched one of my previous videos from a week or two ago, I sold all of his river pilot maps, and had another stack of books. This is one of those books, Naval Architecture for Non-Naval Architects, and this is a 20. Probably once you break it out of the lot that I bought it in, 25, 50-cent book. It wasn't brand. I didn't sell it as new. You see, the new ones are 101, but I did sell it as like new because it was almost perfect, and I got $62. I think Amazon took 12 out of it, and I didn't scan the book first. It just looked interesting, and I picked it up. Now, I'm not going to say it's always going to work like that, because I picked other interesting books up that I've since donated, or I've got set aside to selling a lot on eBay. So, I mean, the prices I buy books at are so cheap, it doesn't really matter. I mean, my strike rate doesn't have to be super high. At this point in my sourcing, I really don't want to go around scanning each and every book. I'm more than happy just to pick up interesting looking books from time to time as a kind of a side project. So, but yeah, guys, that's all we're going to look at for today. I don't know how long this video has been going on, but it feels like it's probably in the 25-minute range. So I want to remind you that Thursday night, Seth and Lonnie's show, 8 p.m. Central. We got a good live audience for that, a good chat room for that. Come join us. We'd love to have you, and I hope y'all have a great night. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye-bye.